Alright, well, I have a bit of a different one for you today. I'm going to brew beer for the first time. Today I'm going to make an Irish extra stout. Well, my father fails to get onto a bar stool behind the camera. But anyway, so I'm going to be making an Irish extra stout. This is going to be mainly just the brewing process as far as getting the wort and throwing in the fermenter, and then bottling will be in 2 weeks' time. I'll have a separate video for that. But I reckon that if I'm going to make stout, I'm going to need to drink some too. And there we go, much better. Now if you know me, you'll know I'm a big fan of stouts. Guinness is by far probably my favourite drink out there. Now, granted, I'm going to be making an Irish extra stout. This is a dry Irish stout. And the only difference really is an extra stout a little bit more in the alcohol volume. So whereas this is 4.2%, I'm hoping to come out at nearly 6. That should be pretty good, I think. Anyway, so I reckon I'm going to get my extract kit up on the counter now, and we will see what our process is going to be. So this is our extract kit. So we have our specialty grains here, so I'm not sure exactly what's in here, but I will imagine we have some sort of roasted barley, maybe some chocolate malt, and then I'm guessing we have some sort of standard malt used, German Pilsner or whatnot. I'm not entirely sure because I didn't choose this myself. It's an extract kit. Here we have our 2 bags, I guess you could call them, of our liquid extract, and these are a strange feeling. I can't explain it, but they're strangely heavy. So we have 2 bags of glorified syrup, and this possibly illegal looking substance. These are hops. So a lot of my friends have been giving me a bit of shtick about this because they saw this and obviously went to the default. But no, there are hops. We only have bittering hops for this. We have no hops for flavour or aroma, and there's no dry hopping. We have what is essentially just cheesecloth. Our grains will go in this, and that's where we're going to steep them in this. It is a brew in the bag method. And we have a Whirlflock tablet. Basically what this does is it coagulates the proteins that come out of the grains, and it just makes them fall out of suspension. Excuse my stammer. And it will help clarify the beer. That is essentially it. There's a strangely small amount of stuff you need to brew beer. So here I have my comically large brewing pot, also known as a brew kettle. This is basically just a repurposed stock pot. My mother's very excited because I think she wants to make a stew in this, but with this you could probably feed my entire housing estate. I just want to brew some beer. But so basically we're going to fill this about halfway. It'll be about a 26 litre batch at the start of the boil. I'm hoping to lose about 3 litres. That will leave us at 23 litres of beer, 46 pint bottles. Half litre bottles, pint bottles, same difference. They're all about 500ml. But yeah, so I'm going to fill this up to about 24 litres. Steep my grains at 60 degrees for half an hour, and then I will pour in another 2 litres, give or take, whatever my 1.7 litres is the max my kettle holds of hot water. I'm going to just pour that through the bag, and then that should run any more sugars that are left stuck in that bag. It should help get a lot of those out into the wort, and then we can start our boil, add our hops, add our roll flock tablet and our extract, not in that order. And it's a matter of just leaving it for an hour then. All in all, I reckon we should just get into it. Okay, so here we have our pot. It's basically half full. I measured out 12 2-litre jugs, so that should be 24 litres. That's enough. And at the moment, kicking a stool, excuse me, we have a water temperature straight out of the tap at about 17 degrees. So we got to raise it by roughly 50 degrees before we can steep our grains. So I'm going to turn on our middle burner. That's on. I'm going to keep it up on full, just so, I mean, that's a very large pot. It's going to be pretty hard to heat the entire thing considering what we're dealing with. But I will get back to you when this is closer to 60 degrees. Okay, well, our water is coming up to 60 degrees. It's just over 50 now, so I'll give it another couple of minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer my grains into my muslin bag as the dog is coughing in the background. Okay, so our grains have been taken out of our wort. Now I just got to bring them up to temperature. I've got to get it to about 100 degrees, and I will start to put in my our malt extract, our liquid malt extract. This is just in some hot water so that it's a little bit softer and it'll come out of the packet easier. And other than that, I suppose I should probably turn on the old stove. So we're just coming up on boil here, nearly at 100 degrees. So I'm gonna start getting ready to put in my liquid extract, and then we can bring it to a rolling boil and add our hops, let it sit for an hour, and then it is cool down time and throw it into the fermenter. So we're not doing too bad. Another maybe 10 minutes here until it's in boiling territory. Right, so we're just coming up to boiling. We're at about 98 degrees. I don't know if you can see that all too well. But we're going to add in our liquid extract now. And so what we're going to do is we've had these sitting in hot water so that they're a little bit more malleable and it'll be easier to kind of pour them. So I have my trusty assistant Raymondo here, and he's going to just stir. You might want to do that a little bit quicker. You're in the middle of the shot.
I don't want to be in the shot.
Well, okay, so we have our wort to a nice rolling boil now. It's time to throw in our hops. So these are a 60-minute hop. Now, adding hops and whatnot to your wort, it kind of works the opposite of what you would expect. So a 60-minute hop doesn't mean you add it after 60 minutes of a boil. It means you add it when there's 60 minutes left to the boil. The same way as our Rolflock tablet, that's added at the 15-minute mark, which means there's 15 minutes left, not 15 minutes into the boil. It's one kind of confusing thing that you have to wrap your head around, but I'm going to cut this open, and every video I've seen have said that the smell of hops is incredible, and I've never smelled hops before, so I'm quite excited. Smell of like a citrusy kind of flavour, maybe a little bit of honey. That's incredible. So what we have here are whole hops. So you can see that it's basically just leaves in a bag. A lot of people use hop pellets. So whole hops have a better utilization than hop pellets. Excuse the flashes because people seem to be taking photos of me. But we're going to just chuck this in. I'm going to have to stir it vigorously because it will attempt to boil over. Exercise. Okay, so there's about 4 minutes left-ish on our boil, a little bit less, maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes, God knows, it's nearly 20 past anyway. But, so I gotta clear off beside the sink, and I gotta run a hose in from outside and then just spray it. You having fun, Belgium? So yeah, I gotta run a hose in from outside and then just run cold water over it for the next multiple hours, until it's down to roughly room temperature-ish, just under 30 degrees. So yeah, commence a really long wait. I'll probably have a nap or something. Okay, well, excuse all the noise, but in this bucket I have about 1 liquid ounce of Star Sand to 5 gallons, and then I have my airlock, the lid for the bucket, and our siphon all in there sanitizing. It needs about 2 minutes contact time for it to completely sanitize, so I'm going to spin the lid around a little bit, make sure it's all been come in contact with the Star Sand, and we should be pretty much okay. after a very, very long day, oh, that's the airlock going off, folks. So after a very long day, a couple of mild arguments with the father, and 5 cans in, it's finally in the fermentation bucket where it's going to stay for approximately 2 weeks. Now, some people find that 10 days is the perfect amount. I find that I've heard that 2 weeks is your best bet. I don't mind leaving it for a couple of days longer, you know. But anyway, so I have it in. It comes to about 19.5 litres. So we definitely lost 3.5. So we probably didn't use enough in the first place, and maybe we overboiled. Now the hydrometer reading is coming up that it was 1052, and the approximate alcohol percentage it gives on the other on the other side of the hydrometer said it could be anywhere between a 7 and an 8% beer, which means 1, my father's going to love it, and 2, I'm going to be pissed after only a few of them. So I mean, it's all well and good. It's a learning process, but I am looking forward to it. Maybe we should have started off with the blonde ale first, because now I'm gonna mess up the stout. I love stout, but anyway, look, it's sitting in here. It is what it is. We're still gonna get about 40 bottles out of it, so I'm not terribly worried. And it's sitting now at about 27 degrees. That will probably go down a little bit once we put it into the press, and there's not a 120 watt light bulb shining on it. But other than that, that's me done for today. Sorry if maybe I didn't go into as much detail as you were expecting, but don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video, whether that is gaming or beer or God knows what I'm going to start doing next. Yeah. Goodbye.